Hey Hunters, Halazoo here with another quick video highlighting the newest Unearthed Arcana, the Mystic Subclasses. So this has 4 completely new subclasses, which I'll be blunt immediately. Why? Why do we have to have 4 new subclasses? Please put more focus on existing subclasses and updating them. Like, I wish they would prioritize having more old ones return. Like, granted, for Dark Sun, I understand it having more new subclasses because it was stuff we didn't have before. But I would like if the new stuff was kind of... Let's put the brakes on for that and do more pre-existing stuff. That said, we shall go in and see... Because there's one I'm actually very surprised to see. If you've seen my 5.5 stuff, you'd know Vestige Patron's one I actually decided to do as a bringing it back subclass. So it's funny that that's shown up here. But anyway, let's begin with Way of the Mystic Arts Monk. So immediately we have straight up spellcasting. So we have a spellcasting monk. And they actually get spell slots. So they are a, like, 1/3 spellcaster. So that is interesting to see that they are we're finally getting a new one. And though I do question why the crazes this was done on Monk. Like, why? Now you'd have 2 resources to track. And that's kind of crazy that they're doing it. So you prepare from the sorcerer list, which is odd, but I don't mind it too much. Mostly because ultimately it's a lot safer than giving them wizard. Wizard gives them a ton of stuff. So they learn spells. They don't prepare them. Still hate that wording. It'd be so much easier if it was spells known and, like, you learn spells. But no, they have to change it. And of course, wisdom is your spellcasting ability. It would be utter insanity if it was anything else. So, yeah, it looks normal. And that is your only 3rd level feature, but it is a huge one. Where you just, you get spellcasting. So, level 6, we get Mystic Focus, which... Oh, what do you know? It's the ability Sorcerer gets at the start. So, you can convert spell slots into focus points equal to the slot's level, and let me guess, this is going to be pretty similar to, or pretty much identical to how spending focus points into spell slots works. So, yeah. It's kind of annoying that you have to wait till level 6, but it is interesting. Then you also, at level 6, get Mystic Fighting Style. So when you take the attack action, you can replace one of the attacks with casting a cantrip. As you'd expect. Personally, I kind of wish they flipped this around, where if you cast a spell, you get an attack. But, oh well. For what it is, it's great. Centered Focus. So when you use focus points on one of your basic abilities, you have advantage on any saving throws to maintain concentration. Honestly, as the only level 11 ability, that honestly feels surprisingly underwhelming. And I wonder if they could throw that in at 3rd level even. Though... Granted, you don't really have anything good to concentrate on until later. So I don't think there's much on Sorcerer, at least, that's good to concentrate on at first rank. So it's kind of a weird, like, in-between of I'm not sure. I do think they could slip something else here, though. Actually, looking at it, yeah, probably move Improved Mystic Fighting Style to level 11 as well, probably. Because this one is when you take the attack action on your turn, replace 2 of the attacks with the casting of 1 of your level 1 or 2 spells. Oh. Yeah, let us take a moment to appreciate the utter stupidity of this feature. So, basically, I have to question why does it work like this? Because you only get 1 extra attack as Monk. So why would you replace 2 attacks for a spell? That does nothing. You don't get triple attack. So, yeah, I question why the craze is this is the way it is. Now, granted, I think I know exactly what happened here, where they copy and pasted the feature from Eldritch Knight over and forgot that Monk doesn't work like that. Even though they really should have a triple attack, because Lord knows Warlock shouldn't have it. But that's the world we live in, so congrats. Level 17 feature is utterly stupid, and level 11 is not great. So I would say personally just have it. Maybe you can just have Mystic Fighting Style by default when you cast a spell, make it attack. But oh well. Then we get Oath of the Spellguard. So this is a new Paladin Oath. So we get Guardian Bond as a Channel Divinity. So it's an action, their standard action specifically. So form bond with a creature in 5 feet. Lasts for an hour or until you're unconscious. For the duration while bonded, and they're in your reach. When they're hit by an attack roll, you can use a reaction to add your Charisma modifier to their AC. So basically, you can buff their AC. I'll be honest. I kind of wish they had it be in 10 feet at least. Because 5 feet's a bit short, and I kind of wish they had it where, or maybe even just have it where it's like, oh, if you have Aura of Protection, then it uses the Aura of Protection range. But it is kind of annoying that it's, hey, when you're touching in like melee of someone, and then it works. As for the spells, immediately, why the heck is Shield on this list? You do not need Shield. Now, I know some people out there will say, it's still good. Yeah, but you're a paladin. You don't need Shield that much. Like, especially on paladin, it's like, you're regularly going to have 20 AC. You don't really need plus 5 AC on paladin that much. It's one of those, and with the amount of health you have, that makes it even more useless. I kind of wish they replaced it with something else. And overall, second rank's a bit of a dud, because see invisibility and silence, they're great in certain situations, but you don't always need them. Now, third rank, Counterspell and Dispel Magic. Oh boy, that's a great one to have. Then fourth rank, Freedom of Movements. Meh. Artlink's Resilient Sphere can be very powerful if used right. Then getting Circle of Power and Hallow is quite interesting. I don't think they're normally that useful, though. So it kind of feels like you've got 3 good spells, and then a lot of nice utility, and then it ends with a dud. Kind of wish they leaned a bit more into the spellcastery aspects, like maybe they get Magic Missile and perhaps say, I don't know, maybe Flame Strike as just a good, like, 5th rank BAM spell. But overall, it's not terrible. Shield's a bit of a dud, where it's like, because outside the context of, like, squishy casters, I find the more AC and HP you naturally have, the worse it is, personally. Because it's kind of like, plus 5 AC when your AC is 12, or 13, means a lot more than when it's 20 or 18. Because you're not getting hit as often and you don't trigger it as often. But Spellguard Strike, when a creature you can see in reach makes cast a spell with the verbal, somatic, and material components, take a reaction, make a melee attack or unarmed strike against that creature. So basically the part of Mage Slayer. It is kind of annoying that it's a bit redundant with that feat. However, I do appreciate that it's like just an extra feature tacked on. And that feat still has other benefits that are still useful to have on it. So it is still nice, even if it is a bit weird where, oh, you just get part of Mage Slayer for free. But it is nice to see. Aura of Concentration. Basically, creatures in the Aura of Protection have advantage on concentration saves, which is, oh boy, is that going to be annoyingly powerful. I might suggest that this should probably be changed around to something else, because, oh boy, they really do not need that at all. Because the thing is, if they're in Aura of Protection, they get that a bonus to it anyway. So you're already adding your Charisma modifier to them, but advantage on top of plus Charisma, that is very powerful. So that one might need a nerf thrown on it. We will see. Level 15. After you hit a creature with Spellguard Strike, you can cast Counter Spell as part of the reaction. And if the spell fails, when you fail to counter a spell with Counterspell, you don't expend the slot. That is absolutely awesome. That is really cool. Though I do wish they also applied it to Dispel Magic. But, oh well, it's actually a really good feature of, hey, yeah, I'm going to try and counter your spell now, buddy. And then also you can counterspell more aggressively, which is nice. Then, level 20, Eternal Spellguard, so bonus action, enter the form. Use it once per day, or when you use a 5th rank spell slot. And you get Bodyguard. So, while Guardian... and this applies to the Aura of Protection, so Bodyguard, while a creature of your Guardian Bond is in the Aura, it has resistance to all damage, aka all the time, because you have to be in 5 feet of them, or want to be in 5 feet of them. So this actually means they don't have to be, but it's kind of annoying that it's like, yeah, for most of the game, you have to be right next to them to get any benefit. Lovely. Then protection from magic, advantage on saving throws against spells, which, while I would say, okay, that's a bit overkill, this is a daily limited ability. I care less at this point of, yeah, screw it. Why not just give the Spellguard Paladin the ability to say, yeah, no, spells aren't working anymore. And then Spell Ward, spell attack rolls against you and your allies in the aura have a disadvantage. Finally! Asymmetrical screw you to spellcasters. So, it's basically, hey! Because it's kind of weird when it's like, so magic resistance only applies to saving throw spells, not attack roll spells. It's why spell attacks are so important to have in the late game as a cantrip, where it's like, yeah, it's actually really important because they're really annoying. But it's cool to see that this aura buff actually applies that symmetrical magic resistance. So definitely earns bonus points for me for that, where it's like, finally, it's symmetrical and awesome. So definitely cool. Incredibly powerful against spellcasters, but I mean, that's what you'd expect out of this. Like, 'cause Spellguard, like, the one problem sticking point against it that I'll mention is you need the right game for that to work, but when it comes up, it's amazing. Where it might end up being one of those, it's either questionable to choose it or completely breaking the game, which I do have that immediate concern, but oh well. Now we have the Magic Stealer. Immediately, please rename this to Spell Thief. Thank you very much. I think, because the Spell Thief was actually a class in 3.5, because that system did not have subclasses, much to the annoyance of me, because, like, it's one of those, looking back at it, it was bad. But I do feel like the Spell Thief, I get it's a feature on Arcane Trickster. This should still be called the Spell Thief Rogue. So we've got level 3, Empower Sneak Attack. So after a creature in 30 feet casts spell first rank or higher, use reaction to absorb a bit of that magic. Till the end of your next turn, Sneak Attack deals force damage, and it's equal to the spell's rank. And you use this int times per day. So basically, if you have an ally who can spellcast, this is going to be awesome. So yeah, that is going to be really cool to see. Where it's like, oh hey, I'm going to borrow a bit of that magic to buff my sneak attack. And then, as magic action, you touch a willing creature and a ongoing level 1st or 2nd rank spell, and the creature immediately recovers 1 expended spell slot of 2nd rank or lower. I will suggest maybe this should be changed to of the same rank or lower, because it's kind of silly that you can end a 1st rank spell and get a 2nd rank slot back. Feels a bit cheesy. Like, I guess maybe it's like, I mean, it's once per short or long rest, so it's fine. But it is kind of goofy that you can do that. And Magical Sabotage. So you get new Cunning Strikes at 9th level. Still annoyingly late, but oh well. So you spend 2d6 sneak attack dice to give it disadvantage on the next saving throw against a spell. That is awesome. Because you can set up some pretty silly combos where you can sneak attack, spell susceptibility, and then give your ally, so your ally can cast a spell and make sure it lands. Like, you might set up for a hold person, let's say. So, or hold monster, let's say. So you can spell susceptibility, they cast hold monster, then the next turn you send out a buffed sneak attack. So that's pretty cool. Then disrupt spell for 3d6. So, basically whenever the target casts a spell during the time, must succeed on an int save, or the spell dissipates with no effect and the action is wasted. But if it's used with a spell slot, it's not expended, so basically you can counter a spell. Like, it's basically a preemptive counter spell, so it can disrupt their ability to cast spells, so that's not half bad, honestly. So then we got Steel Resistance. So this one, if it has resistance to the damage type, it loses that resistance and you gain that resistance. It's kind of annoying it can't steal immunities, but this is actually still pretty cool. where you can do some pretty interesting stuff to enemies where it's like, oh, I take your resistance to fire. Oh, hey, my buddy's casting Fireball now. So you will find uses for that. It is for 2d6, so these are some ones that are actually kind of interesting and useful. You do have to have the right, like, party setup for it, but it's still pretty cool if you can do it. Then we have Occult Shroud at level 13. Once per long rest, you can cast non-detection on yourself. Intelligence is your spellcasting modifier for it. So just once per day non-detection. Great on a rogue. It's a nice feature. Fortunately, they did not give them invisibility. Which, honestly, thinking about it, I am surprised they did not get invisibility anywhere. So improved Drain Magic, so you can use it on first through third rank spells, and the expended spell slot is third rank or lower. Once again, I question why the crazes you're able to convert a first rank spell into a third rank spell slot. Like, it's a bit silly that you're able to do that, but oh well. You're using a limited use resource, I guess. I guess that's fine. But I do question whether it should stay that way. 17th level, we get Eldritch Implosion. So when you power Sneak Attack, target has to make a con save, or the spell dissipates with no effect, and the target is stunned. So basically, if you, like, empower Sneak Attack from an enemy's spell, you can stun them. Pretty nice. I like it, though it should be noted that currently the main way of using Empower Sneak Attack is going to be through an ally casting a spell. But it is cool to see this come up as an anti-mage thing, though I will comment, might need a second ability here. So it's kind of... Also, maybe add damage to it, because it's kind of weird that this doesn't do damage. But, oh well. It's nice. Then we get the Vestige Patron. So, I'm interested to see what they've done with this. I know it's going to be nothing like the old one, where... Because the old one was like, you had multiple different, like, versions of the Vestige that you'd swap between. But... basically, you get a Vestige Companion. So this is a Celestial Fiend or Undead, which is chosen when you get the feature. So, it's basically... You have to take a bonus action to command it. So basically, this is a summoner build, by the looks. And when you take the attack action, you can sacrifice one attack to do the Vestige's Strike. So you can essentially just do multiple attacks with it if you want. And it kind of works like the familiar otherwise. So this is a small Celestial Fiend or Undead. 13 plus Charisma modifier HP, or AC. HP is 4 plus 4 times your Warlock level. Not half bad. It has no strength. Pretty decent Charisma, actually. And then it is resistant to Fire, Necrotic, or Radiant, depending on being Fiend, Undead, or Celestial. So it adds proficiency to any ability check. Saving throw it makes. Vestige's Strike then. So this is 5-foot melee attack or a 60-foot ranged attack. And it's doing D6 plus 3 plus Charisma modifier, Fire, Necrotic, or Radiant damage. Who the heck snuck in the 3 plus 3 on this? Really? Because, this does not need summon spell damage. I'll be blunt. And then once per day, you can invoke Divine Power. So, basically you get Cursed Invocation for undead. So it places a curse on a creature, and it has disadvantage on attack rolls against you or the Vestige for a minute. So, powerful defensive one. Fiendish Swap. If you and the Vestige are in 60 feet of each other, you teleport and swap places. Actually, I forgot to double check the speeds. So this can fly. So it has a 30-foot fly speed, so you can have it fly over and you can swap with it to teleport. Definitely doesn't feel as useful. And then we have Healing Touch, which just gives a creature back 2d8 plus Charisma modifier HP. And it has the blinded, deafened, or poisoned condition removed from it. So just a nice extra heal, which is very cool to have. So Vestige spells. This is a very interesting one. So you get to choose the Life, Light, Trickery, or War Domain. And that is the extra spells you get. So that is very cool, actually. So I think Light is more for if you have the Fiend. Trickery would lean more towards undead. Celestial would be more life. And any of them could lean war. So that is very cool, actually. I do like that. So that's a pretty cool one, actually. I do like that. Where you have multiple options for your deal. Which I think, is this like changed into... Yeah, it's the Vestige of a Dying God specifically now. So it used to be, it was just like random figures, like this ancient king, or like fallen gods were a thing. But it was like various like ancient legends of the past. But this one is now specifically the Vestige of a Dying God. So that's an interesting twist on it. I kind of liked the old version, but oh well, it's fine. So, level 6, you get Vestige Recovery, so it regains divine power when you finish short or long rest, or when you use Magical Cunning. For Undead, that is absolutely absurd. What? Just casually giving the ability to curse one enemy on a short rest? Okay, that is very powerful. Kind of sucks that this is the only feature, but it's very powerful. Fiend and Celestial, I feel it's a bit more reasonable, but Undead one, yeah, that's very, very powerful. Level 10, you get Aura of Power, so as a magic action, cause the Vestige to manifest an aura in 30 feet of it. Lasts up to your Charisma modifier hours. Basically, you, the Vestige, and your allies in the aura have resistance to fire, necrotic, and radiant damage, and their immunity to being charmed and frightened, just like the Vestige. And you can do this once per day. When you drop to 0 hit points while in the aura, you instead get Warlock level plus Charisma modifier HP, and the Vestige is sent to a pocket dimension, and you have to finish a long rest before you can resummon him. So, quite powerful and useful in the right circumstances as a, oh, things are going bad button. It is annoying that it's standard action to activate, though. Kind of wish it was just a bonus action, because it's very annoying as a standard. But it is powerful, so it's not bad. It's just, I think it'd be slightly better as a bonus action. So, basically you can cast, so once per day, you can basically cast a specific spell, and this is of a spell level equal to half your Warlock level rounded down up to 9th. So, for 1 minute, your Vestige disappears, and you replace it with either a Summon Celestial, Summon Fiend, or Summon Undead spirit. So, I like this feature as well. Just, And hilariously, once again, we end up with them converging on stuff I've already done and came up with. Of, what if, like... And once again, it's a Warlock of all classes. So, one of the ideas that I had for Pact of the Chain is that their 6th level, buff ability that I went with was, what if they replaced their spirit, or, their familiar with one of those spirits, based on their pact, or their patron, and then they've done it here, basically. Very cool ability. Kind of funny that it converged on the same idea, but yeah, that is pretty nice and very powerful. I still question why the crazes. Vestige's strike is so powerful, though. That definitely could remove the +3. Either have it just flat +3, or plus your charisma modifier, in my opinion, but oh well. Overall, though, I'm pleasantly happy with the subclasses here. I don't think... There's no stinkers at all of the 4. I'd say... Yeah, I'd actually say they're all fine. They might be... Some of them feel like they end up in a weird place and need some stuff tweaked a little bit. But they did quite well with this one. Definitely off to a good start. Nothing like Hexblade or Tattooed Way, Monk. It's just... It works. Now, without further ado, I will see y'all next time. Halo Zoo, out.